Yo guys, it is that Panda again. I'm here again with another video. And today we are looking at some more G2. Yes, I know I've done like a million videos for this G2 brawl, but this should be one up, maybe like the one before the last. This is like kind of the main last video though, where we are holding towers. We are getting beat on, but we are holding ferociously, and we did our best. I think we held for a good 3 hours on right after we started getting sieged, so it was honestly a pain. We're taking on T6 swarms, we're taking on rallies that we cannot trade positive on, but we did do our best, and that is the most you can expect from us, honestly. I think, honestly, considering our gear and stuff, we traded pretty well. Like, given the circumstances, the gear that we had, the troop difference, tiers, all of that, and even, eating swarms, which would just kind of debuff and buff like tower and buff the rally, whatever it might be, right? It was just really unfortunate in our situation, and we just had the odds pitted against us, and we did our best, and we tried to hold 3 towers for a while. So I'll talk about everything we kind of did. So to start off, we actually used a garrison expansion. So generally, you start off with a 1.5 million garrison capacity, but we used a garrison expansion, and this basically helped us pop it up to 1.8 million, giving us the extra 300k room in it. One, just making it easier to hold and making it harder to tank, as well as we hopefully will trade more positive. Of course, in our situation, we aren't trading positive in general, but we are trading more so positive than we would without the extra troop capacity, making it more favorable in our area. And I mean, honestly, like, we seriously were just eating trades. We were just getting beat on, and there was literally nothing for us to do here except for try to hold. We didn't actually plan to hold for long. We actually planned to give it up right away, but I had been asked by Captain from Mob to hold this, and I said, you know what, man, like, if he wants us to hold it, I will hold it. I don't mind dying for the cause, and honestly, I didn't mind because, one, it's tier 6 kills. I'm a freaking thirsty boy. And then I just wanted kills in general. I wanted kill points. And I did want to have some fun and maybe get some content of us just holding towers. And that is what you're going to see. A ton of sped up footage. We did try to hold 3 towers for a while, but at some point we actually had to abandon this tower that you're watching here because it was just too much for us to hold 3 towers against ANCS, just too many whales, and we didn't have enough people on, like our actual like garrison captains on, because only me and Piglet were on at the time. Nine and Impushy, who are tier 6 players, the only tier 6 ones with infantry actually, were both offline since we are in different time zones. So it was hard for us to hold 3 towers since Peterson was the only thing kind of keeping these alive with the swarms we were taking. And we ended up having to abandon that tower. We ended up forced to defend 2 towers. We only held that tower so we could buy time and they wouldn't be able to wiggle behind us and kind of burn through our towers and just come up behind us. But we did hold these towers for as long as possible. We tried to hold the other 2 so it would be a more inconvenient build, but they end up just breaking through our line of defense eventually. But you guys are going to see a feisty hold where we trade extremely negative at that. You guys are going to see some disgusting reports, but I honestly just wanted to do this video. I don't really ever care if I trade negative or positive. I mean, of course I do care, but I'm not one to hide it. I think that it is just fair for you guys to see me absolutely get obliterated, right? You guys see these whales swarming this thing. I'm trying to hop my freaking accounts over and around to every tower possible so they're able to split between them, but it's just so much I have to defend, and it is a lot. And I won't say it's only me defending. Prime did a pretty amazing job actually helping, until people were burning out. By the time people started burning out, then people were giving up. But otherwise, we were doing, I think everyone was doing a good job at just throwing their troops down the drain. I think everyone at least was willing to die for the cause. So I do appreciate them for putting in the effort. But yeah, we trade extremely negative on so many of these swarms. Of course, there were some that we traded positive on, but it was really hard because, I mean, you guys see the complete gear difference between us, and it is just too much, where there's just nothing we can do. And Boone at this point actually ends up going to help, or not help, sorry, they were going to fight orcs, so we were actually left to our lonesome, and we were forced to just sacrifice ourselves trying to hold these towers, and it was not a pretty picture because I mean we kind of needed Boone to maintain field control to actually hold for as long as possible, and I think they just wanted some kills, so they were fighting Orc, which was really unfortunate since, like I said, I think we really needed them at this time, like if ever. But I mean, we can't exactly blame them, and it's not really their fault that we weren't able to hold. And I mean, it's not like it was their obligation. We weren't allies or anything in this island, and they already helped us plenty. So I did appreciate that. But at some point, we started toppling. The second we lose one tower, you start to lose them all, right? That's exactly how stuff goes. You lose one thing, and everything else starts toppling because then you're just backing up, backing up, backing up because the pressure begins to come, like, just be too much for you. That's generally how it is. And you guys will end up seeing that. But we do end up backing up to our other tower and holding that for a good, at least 30 minutes to an hour. I feel like we definitely hold that thing we held that thing for quite a while. And honestly, like, we traded so bad, but I mean, I was proud that we managed to hold as long as we did. I also want to say that Piglet kept running counter rallies, and guys, I love Piglet, okay? Piglet is such a good warrior, and the dude fights hard, but sometimes this dude just doesn't listen, right? I kept saying in chat, I was like, I don't know if he just doesn't hear me or doesn't understand, but I will be like, dude, just don't run these counter rallies, because the thing is, these counter rallies are really pointless. Like, if you ask me, these counter rallies here are pointless. Like, if we can't maintain the rally, it's more so pointless. Even if we are able to fill up Piglet's rally, the thing is, this dude is pre-tier 6. We're getting one swarmed by tier 6 players on the rally. We're also using, I'm pretty sure, range to counter rally, which is absolutely insane. And like I said, we're getting our rally swarmed down. We're taking the most impossible trades ever. Like, because, I mean, it's just so disgusting. We just needed to stop those things because we were literally being milked for kills. There was no shot, and we weren't even able to fill the rallies. So the trades were more so worse. Like, when you're having, like, smaller rallies. I don't know. It was kind of ticking me off that they kept sending them, especially when we had very limited heals, obviously. And it would probably be better if we use those heals towards something more productive like the tower. Of course, we obviously traded just as bad on these towers, so I mean, can't really say much. Also, someone sent Peter and Hank in this top little corner over here. I don't know if you guys see this thing melting. I think the dude just saw the whales swarming and decided he wanted to be a part of it, and dude got absolutely obliterated. I don't know why he did it, but you know what? Ala la vista, that's all I can say. Dude got sent running home, but I'm stupid, man. I'm saying this stuff, but we got clampered. And I mean, honestly, what do you expect? Like I said, I think that the results, considering our situation, were pretty good, but we still traded bad, and we just couldn't hold these towers for much longer. I actually had reserve accounts sitting back, but I didn't want to hold this tower, and I didn't actually want to give up our other tower to keep defending this thing. So at some point when I couldn't keep filling this, I couldn't keep healing because my healing build just became too much. Because although Peterson, I think, is a pretty good hero, the heals that you have to take by using him is absolutely insane. He keeps your garrison on, and he keeps it alive, and he keeps that thing topped off like a beast. But you have to burn through so much healing, and sometimes I wonder if you're just better off letting your troops die or spending all those resources and such trying to heal these troops, because it is absolutely just disgusting trying to keep this thing full. So I think we end up actually, holding this first rally off here, and we do manage to take it, but then we end up just getting another one set on us and tanking another disgusting swarm, and then at some point we just couldn't manage the healing. We just had lost too many troops to the graveyards, and we eventually had to just give it up, and we had to back up to our last tower, and that was our last line of defense. They didn't swarm it as much, so we managed to hold that thing for, I think, over a good hour, honestly. Definitely over an hour, actually. We definitely held that thing for quite a while, and I will end up posting a PC video about the tower defense, and it was on my, where I recorded on my PC. I didn't record us defending these other towers, unfortunately. And if you guys are interested in more videos on my PC, and I will be trying to voice those over more, do let me know. I think that is pretty interesting, and you guys might enjoy that. And I will just try to, like, speed up the footage a lot more and stuff, so it's extremely zoomy, and you guys can just get all the context, and you can enjoy the PC version if that is more your forte. But yeah, we get absolutely obliterated. I think they were sitting on the tower to avoid us from reinforcing it. But honestly, I didn't actually have issues reinforcing it, so I don't know if it was just because I was using a different way to reinforce it by clicking through the alliance menu to actually send my troops in there, or you can just zoom out and actually reinforce it. Either way, it wasn't actually like yeah, it wasn't really prohibiting me too much, though it was still a nuisance, and it's a good way to actually kind of hurt the alliance that you're attacking, is trying to like sit on the tower. Of course, if they're using, let's say, Lewis and stuff, and you're getting hit with that sweet, sweet AoE, sitting on the tower is probably not going to end up working, but in our case, we actually just couldn't swap back and forth between like Lewis or anything because we just aren't strong enough for that because I mean like look at the situation we're in, guys. We seriously can't fight on the field. We can barely hold this tower and trade. I mean, we trade negative no matter what. So in general, this just wasn't favorable, and it just didn't make sense. Also, look, another freaking rally, man. Why are we counter rallying this? Oh my gosh. It absolutely hurts me. At least send a rally with infantry, right? I mean, I get that we're using infantry on the tower, but dude, we need the counter damage on that freaking rally. It just makes no sense to me, man. It was really hurting my head. My I don't know. Everything about it was hurting me. But yeah, I do also want to mention that Mob was doing a pretty fantastic job at trying to pressure them on the flank, but I think this was Mob's off hours. So while we were taking these hits, I was expecting that Mob would be pushing pretty hard from behind and trying to push them out of towers while they were super busy over here. But I mean, they did rally for a good while, and I think, just in general, it was a bad time for them. And also, a lot of players were just starting to probably burn out, so this was just not really good for us, and we were just holding, trying to buy time, and we did actually end up managing our job because although we end up getting pushed off by ANCS and they start heading for our level 6 village, they never actually made it there because they got cut off before they could with the combined efforts of Boone and Mob while I was sleeping. So I don't actually have footage of that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Mob was trying their best to, I guess, put some pressure from behind and cut them off. But honestly, this was just a really bad spot to be placed in. We built over here to actually slow them down if they wanted to come for our village, and they ended up trying to, as you see here. We just did our best. We did our best to stack towers, and there was only so much we could do. And Nine finally got on. He was gonna garrison captain this, but it was a bit too late for him to kind of take over the job. By the time he did it, I mean, like I said, it was too late. We already were burning out. We just didn't have the troops to maintain this. And he's one of our only two tier 6 infantry players. So if we had him this whole time, the trades would have been slightly better. Of course, we definitely still wouldn't have been able to hold this. We are just completely outmatched here. But still, like I said, I think that we could have done way better if, we had one of our tier 6 players on. Maybe traded a bit better. I don't know, man. You never want to think about that stuff because then it makes you sad that you got absolutely whooped. And finally, at this point, we just couldn't manage to hold any longer, and you guys are gonna see this thing start dropping, and boom, yeah, you guys see it right there, just a sliver. The trades become worse. I'm not able to. I'm like, my hospitals on a lot of these accounts started just filling. I didn't have enough troops besides like I said, my hospitals are filling. I had a lot of deads, and then I just couldn't get any more troops in there. And at some point, I was like, yeah, I just can't keep popping troops in here. I just can't, I gotta give it up. And we lost it. We got swarmed, beat down, and honestly, bravo to ANCS. The whales are absolute monsters, just willing to sacrifice so many troops to commit these swarms. I'm sure they were just enjoying the kills as well. Like besides losing all the troops they did, they probably enjoyed getting some kills here as well. So can't really blame them for committing these swarms. We were probably the easier target they could have found between like Mob, Boone, us. We were definitely the big target if they wanted to milk some kill points. And I mean, they got what they wanted. There were a few people you see in those reports who got absolutely demolished. I don't know why they were trying to help Swarm. And I say this every time, if you're, let's say, I don't know, okay, let's say the defender of a tower is 100 million might as tier 6 tech, and they're defending it pretty well, right? And you see your members, your whales or whatever, start to swarm said tower. You yourself are, let's say, 40 million might. Do not help your whales swarm down that tower. I understand maybe wanting to hop in on that and all that, but you have very minimal impact on what's going to happen to that tower. I get maybe you have an impact in general, but what you're trading, what you're losing, there's no point, right? You get more value out of joining a rally, trying to fill rallies, and you get way more kills there. And you're also helping your alliance more, right? These whales know that their job is to, do what they can to put up numbers, doing their best to kind of take pressure off the rally, as well as just putting pressure on the tower. They know that the average player can't do that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't worry about, having them feel mad or anything, like them being pissed that you're not able to help them or something. I don't think that's an issue to worry about. Just so everybody knows, you should not worry about them being mad that you aren't able to just help them swarm something, right? Like, I can't imagine that actually happening. Most whales are reasonable and they understand and they don't have expectations that go beyond what their members can do. So just be mindful. Don't take stupid swarms. Don't try to help if you're actually just kind of hurting yourself. I mean, like I said, you have more impact by joining the rally, putting up more numbers that way, and all those troops and hospital bills that you're taking by defending, or sorry, by hitting the freaking tower with your solo march. And let's say you're trading like 1 to 10, like there's no point in that when you could join a rally and trade maybe 3 to 1, right? Like you're trading positive for one, and I don't know, you just have a much bigger impact on actually holding these rallies with, whale actually running it. It's just so hard when I see that kind of stuff, and I see it so much, and I feel like people just don't learn. You definitely have to be more mindful. Just because your whales are swarming doesn't mean that you can swarm. That it's not how it works. That just because you think the freaking tower is in the red, it's not actually freaking in the red. We have this thing topped off right now. It shows in the red. That's deceiving. Don't swarm this. If you aren't strong, don't swarm this. But yeah, we did end up just losing in general, and I think that we are gonna get out of here soon. I think that we are about to melt out of this tower, and we couldn't manage to maintain it anymore. I had accounts for every tower that were specifically just due to die on it, and I ran out of accounts at this point. I didn't have any more to reinforce. Piglet, Mogu, all of them just burnt out. Atrex as well. They just couldn't keep defending. They had full hospitals. I mean, just what do? Our troops were all dying. We were melting, and we lost the tower. And the rest of this video is probably going to be reports. So I do appreciate you guys. And I know this video was a little bit pretty garbage. But I do appreciate you guys for always coming and just watching with me. I did have a good time doing this video. See you guys. Have an amazing day or night though, and peace out.